Another series for the Jays just means more craziness for John Schneider. The Blue Jays spent the weekend in Phoenix playing the Arizona Diamondbacks, and it was another series loss for the Jays, losing on Friday and Saturday. But Sunday's big win has you thinking this team is close to turning a corner. Today we have some fun segments. We're going to talk about the Jays' up and down bats over the course of this series. Then we're going to talk about yet another Jeff Hoffman horror show and what the hell we do with him. Last, it's going to be about Eric Lauer, who had some pretty harsh comments after having Braden Fisher open for him on Friday. This is The Morning Whistle. My name is Aaron Morona. So the adventure for the Jays bats continued in Phoenix. Our lineup took another hit. Yes, another hit Friday when Dalton Varsho pulled himself from the game in the third inning with a sore knee. Apparently, he had said to Schneider before the game that he wasn't feeling the best, and we didn't see him for the rest of the series, although he hasn't gone on the IL. The lack of pop was evident. We only scored 3 runs on Friday and only 2 runs on Saturday. And the worst part was we were getting on base. Miles Straw performed admirably, deputizing for Varsho, and Nathan Lucas finally started to hit. And I want to give some praise to Lucas, who apparently had been battling vertigo, which is why he was hitting so poorly. I want to apologize for some comments made. Glad to see him back. Everything changed, though, then on Sunday. The first 8 batters all got on base, and all of them scored. It was an 8-run inning, tied for the best inning in Jays history. The game was basically over in the top of the first. We later went up 10-1, and we won 10-4. Kevin Gausman finally got some run support. Good for him. But my favorite part of this was it was everything you loved about Jays baseball. Guys passing the baton over. Vladdy had a 2-run single, then Okamoto had a 2-run double, and John Schneider's probably wondering, how do I get consistency? Because it feels like we're either going from scoring 1 run or 2 runs to then scoring 9 or 10. Ultimately, there's not much we can do right now. Varsho, Barger, Springer are all short-term absences, and the 3 of them combined for 73 home runs last year. When they're back, and all of them hopefully should be back within the next 7 to 10 days, there will be some additional pop. One thing I would do, Eloy Jimenez has been good since getting called up. He was the Springer replacement. He's hitting .313, an on-base percentage of .389, and has taken some really good at-bats. And while he hasn't been in the field at all, and he would figure to be the odd man out when Springer returns, I do think Schneider needs to look at keeping him up. He's the kind of quality and experience that we need to get runs. And right now, we need to find runs any way we can. The 2 biggest storylines of the weekend belong to pitchers. And the first is Jeff Hoffman. What do we do with this guy? Once again, he was bad. After blowing the save against Milwaukee on Tuesday, Jeff Hoffman killed the Jays again on Saturday. Coming into the game this time in the 8th inning, it was 2-2. Well, I'll just tell you what he did. He gave up a single, gave up another single, then walked Cal Marte to load the bases. Then he fell behind 3-1 on Corbin Carroll and telegraphed a fastball, which of course led to a grand slam. The game was more or less over. I mean, what do we do? Like, John Schneider more or less moved him out of the closer role. It looked like Louis Varland was coming in to pitch the 9th. The problem is it looks like moving Hoffman from the 9th inning to the 8th inning is not enough of a move. And like with Little, we might have to look at more drastic options. To be clear, Hoffman won't, and he can't, go to the minors. And I know there's a good pitcher in there. We've even seen it this season. The problem is pressure. Some pitchers are made to be closers, and we know that some aren't, and he doesn't appear to be. He is letting the nightmares of last year haunt him, and he's not showing that goldfish mentality you need from late inning relievers. For now, what do? I think Tyler Rogers and Louis Varland have to be your go-to guys for the 8th and the 9th. And I would consider moving Hoffman to more of a 7th inning role, kind of similar to what they've done with Braden Fisher. I'd also be curious to see him as a firefighter. Maybe bring him into the game when there's 1 man on or 2 men on and see if he's better at putting out someone else's mess. The reality is, I think he's not going to be good as a closer. I think John Schneider's realized that, but even the setup role for now might not be the right thing. Put him in less leverage. Let him build his confidence back up. Last, let's talk about Eric Lauer, who had some ridiculous comments on Friday. So Eric Lauer had an opener on Friday. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the term, well, it just means Braden Fisher started the game. Pitched the first inning facing the first 4 Diamondback batters. Lauer then started the second and pitched the next 5 innings. And as teams have increasingly put their best batters in the 1 to 3 slots to maximize at-bats, instead of 3 to 5 like we saw in the old days, the opener is a good strategy to give your quote-unquote starter an easier step into the game. Have a bullpen guy take the leverage and then bring the starter in to go. We've done this last year for Lauer as well. And needless to say, he was not happy. Let's read what he said. "To be blunt, I hate it. I can't stand it." He noted it messes with your pregame routine and said that pitchers are creatures of habit, ending by saying, "Hopefully it's not something that we will continue doing, but that's above my pay grade." Wow. Now, Lauer's not the happiest with the Jays. We know this. He wasn't happy being moved to the bullpen last year. He wasn't used a lot in the World Series or the ALCS, and he lost his arbitration case to the Jays in February. And when he came into camp, basically said, "I want to be a starter, and I feel like the Jays don't trust me." Eric, here's the deal. You've not been good enough. You've not been good enough. And the truth is, you need to shut up and perform better. We know why you're doing this. Because you're a free agent at the end of the year, and you want to get paid. And you know that swingmen and relievers get paid less than starters. But you have not been good enough. Your ERA is 7.13. 7.13. If you want a contract, focus on bringing that down by any means necessary. And guess what? The opener strategy worked. Your ERA dropped. Your previous start, you gave up 7 runs in the 3rd inning, including 2 home runs, and that was over a 5-inning start. You pitched the same amount as the 2nd inning guy, and you only gave up 3 runs. Come on, you got to pitch better. My issue with these comments goes beyond just his performance. It was disrespectful to Braden Fisher. And quite frankly, if I'm Jays management, I'm looking to trade him. If, hopefully, Barrios and Yasavage come back in the next few weeks and they successfully ramp up and they show they can last and they're healthy, I would get this guy the hell out of here. He clearly doesn't want to be a part of the organization. He just wants to get his bag. And he's not willing to do anything it takes. Or at least he's saying he's not. Ship him away as soon as he can. This is Aaron Norona from The Morning Whistle.